After the success of an incredible trilogy and a very fitting conclusion to the story that started years ago with Halo CE to Halo 3, where do we go from here? This was the central question on Bungie's mind. After working very diligently on Halo, they didn't know what to do next with Master Chief. While nearing the end of their contract with Microsoft, Bungie still had time to create a new Halo game before departing. While they had prototype builds of Master Chief and concept plans, it didn't feel like there was much to do with the character. Ultimately, Bungie decided to take a new route for the franchise and drop the concept of Halo 4. So Bungie was split into two teams to handle two different Halo games focusing on their own stories while remaining consistent in the timeline. One would be the prequel and the other would be the spin-off, Halo 3 ODST. Today I will dive into the remarkable spin-off of Halo 3 ODST and discuss my thoughts on it. Remember that most of this will be my opinion and my experience on the title, and I'll do my best to explain the development of this game. While I was kinda sad that Bungie didn't make Halo 4, while 343 would continue the franchise and make the game themselves. However, I wasn't upset that Bungie gave us two new games that create an entirely new view from the original trilogy, while providing it on the Xbox 360 at the time of their creation. As the era of Bungie's Halo was ending, they might as well go out with a bang. ODST would break the mold and invite players to a fresh new take on Halo we'd never seen before. The challenge for the team was mostly taking the player from one character and putting them into a new one. We aren't the Master Chief anymore, we're no longer the tank that gets stronger each game. Instead, we're just people and must take advantage of the tools and weapons around us. The story and setting are far more grounded than the sci-fi aspect we grew used to. While the Covenant are present in the game, they still make the characters feel more human in their position. The characters have their own personality, and we get to play as them to get a perspective of their story and the brutal nature of the Covenant. While this all takes place in one city, which becomes such a creative way to establish the feeling of emptiness, destruction, isolation, and war. All of this ambition succeeded in the end, as we got not just a simple 2-hour campaign, but an entire game on its own, which is hilarious the more you think about it. The marketing for ODST was so awesome, and just by these trailers alone using live action, again, missed opportunity Microsoft, it hyped the fans up for this new Halo game that allowed you to play as these orbital drop shock troopers. This is what I love so much about this franchise. When an ambitious team has an idea, they bring forward all their plans and build on them, creating a new game while remaining faithful to the mechanics.
Wait, that's illegal.
Thanks to the engine they have from making Halo 3, Bungie utilized as much as possible to create their vision for the game and incorporate new ideas into buildings, characters, weapons, the weather, and the whole environment. ODST opens up with something new. As you start with the campaign, we get our exposition through text to set the tone for what you're about to play, providing info that this game takes place between Halo 2 and 3, and this fight will be taken home on Earth. While doing more work on this, it reminded me of Halo 2's E3 gameplay shown a while back. I think ODST was a way to redeem that entire segment of the game that was scrapped or altered in Halo 2 because the majority was here on Earth. Now as ODSTs, we have our drop pods, and man, are these the coolest things you've ever seen. It enhances the immersion of our character and the event that branched between Halo 2. The sound effects in this game make it 10 times better. Then the Covenant jumps through slip space, impacting the city of New Mombasa and separating our cast. This allows us to investigate what happened to our troopers and explore the city that Bungie presents. As for our cast, Bungie did an excellent job uniquely differentiating these characters, where their personality shines through each cutscene and gameplay. The leader of the team, Buck, is a cynical, quick-witted soldier that's been through so many wars and battles, but he also cares for his team and does whatever it takes to do the job right and bring everyone home. As his teammates Dutch, Romeo, Mickey, and the Rookie follow alongside Buck on his dangerous mission. Dutch is like the tank, where he's rough. He enjoys the fight and takes the fun of blowing anything up when given the opportunity. Romeo's the group's comedian. While fighting, he has a smart mouth and a sense of humor, but is a very dependent part of the team when needed and helps out in the heat of battle. Mickey is a unique character in this group. He's a pilot and demolition expert who plays it safe and feels like the odd one out of the group. Still, he makes up for his bravery and boldness through his actions. Rana Kadir is the team's captain, and she's the one to get things done without fooling around. She's an operative for the naval intelligence while hiding most of the mission's info from the team. She also has some history with Buck that hints how close they were, showing their interest in one another and trying to stay professional. The Rookie is the character we start as. While he's the silent protagonist that fills the space of the Master Chief, he doesn't say anything. There isn't much history of the Rookie other than us playing as the character and providing our skills around him and immersing us in this story. We can play these characters in the game that sets the stakes. This can be seen as an improvement from Halo 2, as the team wanted the player to feel a natural transition from one character to the next, allowing each member to fill the game with drama and story. An interesting piece about this game is that it has another story that you can investigate. Bungie made these telephones with these messages and audio logs from the people that lived in New Mombasa before the invasion. How it leads to this narrative that introduces this character in her life, putting in detective-like work to discover the whole story and how it connects. Again, such an incredible work from Bungie writer Joe Staten allows us to step into the shoes of these troopers, while once again creating something new and different within the franchise that stands alongside the trilogy. The game's cinematography is exquisite. ODST has so many camera views, from surveillance footage as you investigate the location of your group and the events that happened prior. It makes it feel realistic, like the camera angles are utilized as part of the Halo universe.
This is it, baby. Hold me.
Every detail in this game is so incredible. Even when this game came out in 2009, the mechanics in this game give it such a nice spin. Instead of using a flashlight, you're given these new visors to make the experience far more daunting as you must navigate in dark areas of New Mombasa. Some weapons now have silencers, immersing you in this campaign like you're on an ops mission or need to play it safe and stealthy. Other weapons return from Halo 3 that assist in combat and faraway range sniping. Big guns to obliterate tanks, ghosts, phantoms, banshees, and vehicles, making an iconic, fun Halo experience. Unfortunately, dual wielding was removed from the game, but I can respect it as Bungie wants the player to have a better experience and flexible control over weapons and grenades. Another change was not being able to use the enemy's equipment like in Halo 3. The map of New Mombasa serves similarly to a hub world. At the same time, you explore and investigate items and locations to trigger a new level to play in. You even have an option to how you want to attack enemies, whether head-on or stealth. Bungie knows how to create an open or linear world for us to be a part of, always keeping the player engaged and wanting to continue to see what happens next. It acts more like an expanded form of Halo 3 that keeps it the same while adding new touches to keep the player invested. The characters you play are part of this series of flashbacks, contributing to investigating New Mombasa and exploring it throughout the day and evening. While playing the Rookie, you examine it at night, allowing you to take a break from the intense battle from one area to the next. Instead of having a radar like the Master Chief, we use a nav system that helps you navigate the area and find beacons to locate a position. You can even signal it and press the button to find the location. Bungie brought back the health bar and medkits to make the risk even more thrilling, reminding the player you are human and your shields aren't as strong as Chief's. So good luck and be cautious of your surroundings. Each level you play shines the brightest in ODST. You have stealth sections in New Mombasa, a battlefield in the plaza, open war zone with big guns and many weapons, a level dedicated to using a tank while defending an outpost, to a rescue mission, and ending it in an epic way. The levels may feel short, but they leave an impression, making you enjoy getting from point A to point B, offering so many situations that Bungie had the privilege of showing off to us. Firefight was a new addition that Bungie revealed, where you can have a friend play against waves of enemies and see how long you last in battle. This is also where you can play as the legendary Sergeant Johnson. This looks like a lot of fun, and I never got a chance to play it back then. Yet it's always refreshing to see Bungie try something new to the franchise that gives the players a unique, fun experience overall. Getting high scores and racking up many kills looks like a lot of fun.
Pardon? You there? You still mad? Oh no!
This game is a real test of time. How does the story fare to this standard? As my first time playing the game, I can guarantee this game is phenomenal. ODST is impressive in both gameplay and visuals, as the narrative is excellent. It sets the atmosphere, characters, and environment so well that it immerses you and teaches you something that continues to be a prominent theme: vulnerability. ODST reminds us that these people are not invincible and aren't afraid of showing it. They're human and tasked with the most elite objectives, showing that these troopers push to their limits to get the job done and defend their home in any way they can. It spends more time on the soldiers than the Covenant, making them the main story. They're relatable and bring a nice dynamic that would stand out compared to Spartans, allowing us to connect with these characters, understand them in times of crisis, and have playful banters with one another. It includes the moments we feel for them when they try to stay together. They show fear of losing their own teammates. Veronica and Buck share this romance, which I'd never seen in a Halo game, but it plays well in this subtext. They're close and have this history that brings it together in this story. While the plot is relatively simple and works well in this game, the cast carries this story and gives it more meaning. The game has you separated from the team as we defend Earth. Find an engineer that can provide intel that connects to Halo 3. Not too complex like Halo 2, but it all works out in the end for this narrative. While Sergeant Johnson, the legend he is, shows up to smoke with the engineer to get to business. You know what time it is. Whenever I talk about Halo, I will never stop talking about its perfect music. Marty O'Donnell destroyed the universe with his indescribable music. I mentioned this in my last video, but Marty distinctly created the soundtrack to stand out from each Halo game. Halo usually starts with the monk chant, then to violins and heavy drums, but this time these would be absent in this soundtrack. Instead, Marty gives his incredible melancholy piece that immerses you in this lone, isolated emotion and feeling. I adore the music in this game, with the heavy guitar riffs and battles, then slow melodic moments in New Mombasa with the Rookie. Each track is so incredible that it fits well in this game. Over the course, I felt pumped fighting in the battle and sad over the emptiness and destruction of New Mombasa that had been through so much. Thanks to Marty and the advantage of an orchestra, he had time to make it the best soundtrack of all time. ODST is the perfect example of trying something new in the Halo series, and Bungie does it best. I recommend this to newcomers to the series to play this game. It did much more with Halo 3 than we'd ever seen, and was done by another part of the Bungie team, bringing unforgettable characters, fun gameplay, beautiful visuals, and music that slaps so hard. And this makes Halo 3 ODST the best spin-off in the Halo series.